The farmers are now getting crushed, and the administration has a plan to bail them out. And as usual, Donald Trump wants to be praised. He wants the farmers on their knees because Trump is trying to partially put out a fire that he set in the first place by destroying markets for our farmers and ranchers with the tariffs. Trump announcing, we've got a bailout plan. And as usual, you can tell he doesn't really even understand it. Socialism for farmers is here.
I'm delighted to announce this afternoon that the United States will be taking a small portion of the hundreds of billions of dollars we receive in tariffs. We are making a lot of money from countries that took advantage of us for years. They took advantage of us.
Remember that it's American companies that pay the tariffs. It's American money, not Chinese money, that will be used for this bailout.
Nobody's ever seen our deficits are way down because of tariffs. I guess because of the election, because without the election, you wouldn't have tariffs. You'd be sitting here losing your shirt. But we're taking in billions. We're really taking in trillions of dollars, if you think about it, Scott, because the real numbers, when you think of all the money being poured into the country for...
None of this, this couldn't be further from the truth.
For new auto plants and all of the other things, AI. So what we're doing is we're taking a relatively small portion of that, and we're going to be giving and providing it to the farmers in economic assistance. And we love our farmers, and as you know, the farmers like me because based on voting trends, you could call it voting trends or anything else, but they're great people. They're the backbone of our country. So we're going to use that money to provide $12 billion in economic assistance to American farmers. $12 billion is a lot of money, Merrill. What do you think? Peanuts for you, though, right? Peanuts.
So you might get the sense that Trump has some idea what the plan is. He doesn't. That becomes clear as we go forward during this. Trump brought in an ass-kissing farmer to sit next to him to just talk about how awesome Trump is and how great Trump is. And this is really pathetic, especially because we know that farmers have really soured on Trump.
Story at night, putting him to bed, and he said, Daddy, I don't want Santa Claus to come to our house for Christmas. I want President Trump.
I would really be concerned about what sort of parenting is going on if that's what the kid wants.
And I think, Mr. Trump, I think you brought Christmas to farmers. With this bridge payment, we'll be able to farm another year, help us get by. It's such an honor to be here with you.
Yeah. Brought in as the ass-kissing farmer. The truth, of course, and we've played dozens of the clips, is that farmers are disgusted with what Trump has done. And then, as I mentioned, Donald Trump confused about his own plan. Brooke Rollins, the Secretary of Agriculture, explains the plan. Trump gets into a little disagreement with her about how much money is it? Is it $11 billion or is it $12 billion?
So, as the president said, we are very pleased to announce that today we are going to be effectuating an $11 billion bridge payment to our farmers. The money will move by February 28th of 2026, but by the end of this month, so just in the next couple of weeks, every farmer that is able to apply for it will know exactly what that number looks like. So as you are going to your lender, as you are working to ensure and understanding what you can plant for next year, you will have that number in hand. And we will continue to talk to our farmers, continue to understand exactly what this looks like and what is necessary. The final thing I'll say is,
$12 billion.
Well, we're holding $1 billion back. So today we are announcing $11 billion. We are holding $1 billion back just to ensure that we are covering. So today's announcement.
There you go. So Trump confused about his own bailout, which, by the way, isn't this the socialism and communism and Marxism that Trump told us to fear? But he needs to be praised for this. If Biden were doing it, they would say off with his head. As usual, Trump seems to be the last one to know what they're doing. And then Trump's final brilliant idea has to do with taking all environmental restrictions off of equipment, farming equipment manufacturers.
We're going to also give the tractor companies, John Deere and all of the companies that make the equipment, we're going to take off a lot of the environmental restrictions that they have on machinery. It's ridiculous. I know because I buy a lot of that machinery for different things.
Right.
We have a lot of big clubs with, hundreds, thousands of acres. And I buy a lot of stuff, and you buy it, it's got so much equipment on it for the environmental, it doesn't do anything, except it makes the equipment much more expensive and much more complicated to work, and it's not as good as the old days. And we're going to take a lot of that nonsense off of the equipment, which is going to reduce, and we're going to do it, and we're going to say you're going to reduce the prices. We're not going to do it, and they're not going to reduce. They're going to have to reduce their prices.
There you go. And of course, Trump sort of catches himself. He kind of gives away the game. He goes, the reason that these products have become so expensive is because of all of the environmental requirements placed on John Deere and Kubota and all these companies that make equipment. So we're going to tell them they don't have to do that anymore. Take it all off. And by the way, we're also going to force them to reduce prices because Trump intuitively knows that's not actually why the equipment costs what it costs. The equipment costs what it costs because we have inflation in this country, and inflation continues. And we also have relatively modest regulations, safety regulations on this equipment, so that hopefully fewer people will end up getting hurt with these large pieces of machinery. So Trump's combination of confusion, anger that other people are speaking, and disdain that not everybody is down on their knees praying at the altar of Trump leads to not only really bad ideas, but it leads to continued suffering for the farmers and ranchers. If only there had been some way to prevent this in the first place. Appreciate you watching. Stick around for this next video, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you actually see our uploads. You can also catch the full podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.